leaving. A mask. I don't want a mask. Well, this is exciting. This is part one of Capturing a Spouse that you can thank Xtina for as her brilliant invention of the title. And we're going to talk about finding a spouse. And we're going to talk about finding a spouse. We're going to talk about it because Xtina and I, we get a lot of questions asked. We get people wanting us to connect them with people. We get people asking us questions about how. And so we're going to talk about it. Xtina's going to join me in a moment here. And we're going to talk about why we do things the way we do, how we should think about it. What does the Bible say about finding a spouse? And I'll just let some disclaimers. Most of this is my opinion. It's my opinion based on people I've watched, based on our dating. Xtina and I both have, before we were married to each other, we were both married once before. We both did a fair amount of dating. We have a lot of experience in it. And so we're going to use some of that. But this is my opinion. If at any point you don't like my opinion, you don't have to listen. That's totally okay. But I would encourage you to listen with an open mind, because you're going to hear some things you don't like. You're going to hear some new things. You're going to hear some things that most of society will never tell you. And that's okay. We're going to be different than the rest of society, and we're going to have more success than them too. So I try not to keep my videos super long because everybody's busy, and I have a tendency to put way too much information in things if I let it go for a long time. So we're going to try and keep it fairly short.
And segmented.
And we're going to split it up into 4 so that everybody has things they can work on, or things to think about, or things to ignore, depending on their preference. And know, for all of you who are asking or thinking, I don't have any donuts to eat tonight, so nobody is going to see me eat any donuts. So, hey love?
Yeah?
You want to join me?
Hot second. So baby, what is your video going to be about tonight? Because I think that you're going to make some people mad and maybe shocked. What's your video going to be about?
That's true. I don't know how much shocking I'm going to do tonight, but definitely episodes 3 and 4 are going, some parts are going to be hard to hear. I would encourage you to stick it out. You're not required to. If I tick you off tonight and you don't really want to hear another one, I'm still going to love you, and I'm still going to say hi when I see you next time, because this message is for those who want it. I'll say that. We're going to talk about things, and some of those things you're not going to want, but those who do, they need to hear it. So if you don't, we're cool. We're totally cool. Tonight we're going to talk about some of my first steps and some of the things I wish I'd consciously realized right from the beginning. So as soon as my wife is finished making herself far more beautiful than I could possibly imagine, we'll start talking about that.
That's so cute. Right there. So for like the last few days, I don't know what is up, but I keep on feeling like I have like fibers in my eyeballs. So I'm just kind of messing with my eyes. Yeah, who's on? I see, yeah, okay, so I see Luke, I see Leslie, hi, Julie Jones, what's up? Who else is on here? This is so cool. So we love seeing your emoticons. If you throw up a heart, or if you throw up smiles or whatever, we can actually see who you are. I like that. So we'll be able to see by your pictures. I see Renee, I see Luke. Okay, cool. So as we're talking, if something makes you mad, give us the angry face. If you get like a huge aha moment, wise person that you are, scroll down a little bit and you're going to be able to see some emoticons. There's a wow face, there's a love, there's a like, so interact, because I know that Brad will definitely feed off of that and probably give you way more information that might be really uncomfortable for me, but I don't really care. So yeah, throw up some emoticons, and yeah, go ahead and get started. Let me grab a sweater.
Okay. Um, I would encourage everybody who's watching this to find a married couple they admire, whose marriage that they like, and spend some time with them, even if it's just to watch how they are married, even if it's just to watch how they raise their children, even if it's just to watch how they speak to each other. Our marriage has survived some of the things it has because we have some very, very wise people in our lives who we watch and listen to. And some of the things I'm going to talk about, I have learned from those people. So I would really encourage you to do that. I hear a lot when I travel, when I see a lot of you, people telling other people they need to make a list. You need to make a list of 100 things that you want in your partner, and then if they don't meet all of those things, they're not the one. And I have some issues with that, actually, because, I guarantee you there's someone on the planet who meets all 100 things. If you make a list of 100 things, there's someone on the planet. However, out of 7 billion people on the planet, they may not live on the same continent as you. Hey, Elizabeth. And so finding them could be a little bit difficult. There's also the fact that you're going to have a list of 100 things and they may meet them, but as you get to know them, you're going to realize that there's 100 things that you don't want there. I guarantee it. Nobody is perfect.
Also, do you meet the list?
Yeah, that's true. If you're walking around with a list of 100 things, that means someone else has a list of 100 things and you may not meet it. I don't know if we want to reap that. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. So
double standards.
I don't want to disagree with any of the. You know what? Actually, I don't care if I disagree with any of the wise people. I don't want to upset any of the wise people you're currently listening to, but I would really encourage you. Make a list of 10 things. Make a list of 10 things that you must have, and a list of 90 that would be wonderful.
Aww.
Just, if they don't meet those 10 things, sweet. 10 things is real easy.
So what was on your list?
What was on my list?
I'm like, clearly I got on it. What was on there?
I'm going to leave number 1 till the end of this video, because, but let's talk about some things that are really good to have on your list.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big ones on my list was you had to work to love God more than you loved me. That's a really good one. That's a really rare thing, and she does so good at working at that. And we don't always get it right. That's something I hold myself to. I work really hard, and I don't get it right very often. But we are commanded to and created to love God first before we love our spouse. And it enables us to love our spouse better.
What does that look like? Like, how do you know I'm good at it?
I still watch you create time for God first thing. I know that when I'm at work, pretty much your first thing in the morning is time with God that you don't like being interrupted from, that you don't want a timeline put on it, and you do that to build yourself, you do that to build your relationship with God, and you do that. Well, I don't know all your motivations for that, but I know one of the reasons you do that is because you love me and you want to be an amazing wife for me.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
That's one thing that's good to have on your list. Caring about physical fitness, that may sound really earthly or vain or whatever, but I really encourage that one to be on the list. I really encourage that one to be on the list because you want someone who's going to be around for a long time.
Wow.
You want someone, I don't want her to, I like it when she's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when she's fit for all kinds of different reasons.
Just kidding.
But I want to be able to enjoy my life with my spouse for many, many years.
Aw.
And if we don't care about our physical fitness, we are unconsciously communicating that that's not something we're concerned with. That's another thing that I have on this. Some people really care. Really, it's important that the guy be taller than them.
That was huge on my list. I was like, I don't care what nationality they are. I don't care if they're like 20 years older than I am. Just, Lord Jesus, make them be taller than me so that I can wear some high heels and feel super, super comfortable and have him be comfortable. Like, that was huge. Oh, and I asked Brad, okay, so when you like pair us up side by side, Brad's body, I don't know, is it ectomorph? Is that the word for it? Like when you have the super high metabolism, like super duper high metabolism, this man, like he could like eat his way through an elephant and like never gain a pound. Versus, like I have to work to have any level of physical fitness. So when you pair us side by side, and if I've gained weight, it's clearly obvious. And so I had to ask some really tough questions like, you know, babe, if I had been, 250 pounds, do you think that you would have, like, if I would there be an attraction there? And his answer was really startling to me. He said that he wouldn't rule it out as like a no. It wasn't that he was looking for a body type. It would have been, was I actively pursuing my physical fitness and my health? So that was a real eye-opener. It wasn't that his list was hardcore, you gotta look like a supermodel. It was more, are you concerned with your health, and are you making steps regularly to take care of your body and to make fitness a priority? So that was kind of cool to hear. I was wondering, because I packed down like 20 pounds after we got married, and I was really uncomfortable with that. So I asked some really tough questions. I'm like, so if I was like 250 pounds, would you still love me? And yeah, I like that answer. It was really cool.
Yeah. One of the other things that was on my list was I wanted a spouse who, I wanted a partner, a teammate, a spouse who was plugged into some kind of coaching. Because the truth is, if I, from this day forward, do not learn from anybody, do not consistently learn from anybody, I will be the exact same 10 years from now that I am today, and that is not okay. I don't care how good anybody thinks they are, staying the same is never okay.
Wow.
Is never okay. And so that was something that was on my list. That was a requirement that my partner be plugged into coaching. In this case, it was my coach. I really wanted someone who was plugged into the same coach as me so that we would have similar guidelines. Most of you know, Danny Johnson is one of my coaches, and I absolutely encourage everybody to check her out. Oh, is it slowing down?
I don't know. I can still see emoticons, so look like we still have good connection.
Cool.
Go, baby.
One of the reasons I highly encourage her is, this is more on the fear, but a married couple is going to have enough to deal with in their life without dealing with how to raise your children, what to do with your finances, and what the roles are in the home.
True.
Those are like three of the top issues in any marriage. And Danny Johnson, she deals with those all the time. Sometimes it's smack, sometimes we need a smack, sometimes it's a little gentler, but she talks about those all the time. So it was really important to me to have the same coach as me, but it's important to have on your list that someone is plugged into some sort of coaching. They are trying to better their minds, better their hearts, better themselves, so that they're not going to be the same 10 years from now.
That's good.
I don't know what else was on my list. Those are the ones I really remember. Those are the ones I really remember.
So, like, tall, green, blonde, massively skilled. Just kidding.
For me, I really wanted someone who was intelligent.
Aww.
And it's not saying that it was not me putting people into the not intelligent category. That's not what I was doing. But I see the world a little differently than a lot of people, and um, sometimes I think really fast, and I really want someone who could keep up with me. And I might have got more than I bargained for, actually, but that's a good thing.
It takes a smart brunette to play a dumb blonde. That's all I'm going to say.
But my point is, don't make your list so specific and so huge that no one can meet it.
So true.
Because you're doing a whole bunch of things, but one of the things you're really doing is you are making it impossible to find that person.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, he or she is not going to fall in your lap. I don't care how many stories you've heard of people who saw each other off the pub and knew. You are hearing the 2 out of a million stories. I guarantee it. It's not going to happen that way. It is, what's that? 0.0002%.
Statistics.
Yes. That's going to happen. You are going to have to go find them.
Okay,
there is going to be a little work involved.
Are you going to get into that on this one?
Not this one.
Oh, okay. You guys have to tune in for later segments because Brad, as he said at the beginning of this video, he can really give you a lot of details. But there's something that he's going to cover and talk about that, wow, we had friends over for the holidays, and we all sat down together and watched this incredible viewpoint and perspective about dating that was just mind-blowing, and Brad has a little something to add to that, so I can't wait to hear that. So tell me, but how did you get the idea to make a list, and how long did you have a list before I popped up? Because mine was short. I'm gonna grab water.
I don't remember. I remember not having a list, though.
How'd that go?
I remember dating a lot. And the range of people I dated was crazy. I didn't always make great choices. Some of them I made were great choices. They just didn't work out. And that's okay. That's going to happen too. Oh, I really hope.
Choppy connection.
I hope it's not choppy.
Is it choppy?
I'm sorry.
You guys, throw us a comment and tell us if it's choppy, because if so, yeah, we have more phones. Elizabeth Miller says choppy. Do you want to pop on my phone?
Yeah,
I think be wise. All right, we'll be back in minutes. Not even.